All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy New Year. 2020 is in the books. We can burn those books. Welcome to 2021. My name is Kelly McDonald. For those of you who do not know me, I am the new president for the Maine State Bar Association, taking over and trying to fill those very large shoes left behind by Thad Day. We're going to go ahead and get started with Bar Talk, first Bar Talk of 2021. This will be a bit shorter than normal, perhaps, because it is the first day back at our desk. And if you're like me, there's a bunch of stuff to get done. So we don't have a guest speaker today. We just want to run through some informational stuff and highlight some things coming up in 2021 for the Bar Association. So you have the slide up in front of you. Just a couple of notes there. Obviously, the state continues to issue proclamations and emergency orders. One thing I want to note, fourth line down, reduce public hours and court closings. That's the fourth and fifth line. These are all over the place. There are some courts that are closed on Wednesdays, others that are closed on Tuesdays. Some have shortened hours. The new judicial branch's website, which is very spiffy looking, has a banner up at the top that you can click, and it jumps you straight to all of that information. So just a reminder that before you head off to the courthouse for filings or for an appearance, you should check to make sure that the courthouse is in fact going to let you in. A note here about email filings. For those of you who are tuned in our last couple of Bar Talks to talk about the new emergency pandemic management order issued by the judicial branch, email filings, not to be confused with e-filing, but email filings are now permitted in most of our courts under certain circumstances. There's a lot of rules. You'll want to read them to make sure that you get it right. But if your courthouse is closed, the email filing option is available to you. And also do note that remote proceedings, even if the courthouse is closed, will continue to operate unless you hear otherwise. Angela, over to you.
Thank you, Kelly. Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome to Kelly as our president this year. We're looking forward to working with him. Just real quick, that there was a message that went out to child welfare stakeholders asking for comments and feedback on PMO SJC7 as it relates to the current protocols and how they're going. The email address that they provided was incorrect, so this is the correct email address. Please make sure you use that if you plan on submitting comments.
All right. Thank you, Angela. So looking ahead at 2021, let's just take a quick moment to reflect on what the year is going to bring to us. Obviously, we're going to continue living with the pandemic and all the limitations that that imposes upon us for the foreseeable future. We're going to have to just keep working with that. Bar Talk will continue. It has proved to be a useful service. Right now, it looks like there are 68 people logged on. This has fulfilled a need for information that we didn't frankly realize was needed. And so we're going to continue that for the indefinite future. If there are topics you would like to see us cover or guest speakers you would like to hear from, please let me know or let Angela know. The Bar Association will continue operating virtually for the foreseeable future. That means the Winter Bar Conference, which Angela is going to talk more about in a minute, is going to be virtual. CLEs will be virtual. Most of our meetings will continue to be virtual. I want to talk a little bit about one of our 3 new strategic goals, which is focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion. This became a very important topic, even with all the news about the pandemic and other things. This became a very important topic and an opportunity for us to renew our commitment to this issue this past summer. The board created a new diversity committee to gather feedback and decide what directions the association should be moving in on these topics. That continues to operate, more to come on that. One of the first recommendations issued by that committee was to form a new BIPOC section. BIPOC stands for Black, Indigenous, and People of Color. And so that new BIPOC section is up and running. We have co-chairs Tom Douglas and Carlos Diaz. There has been significant interest. A lot of people have signed up for that section. We're hoping to get Tom and Carlos onto a future bar talk to talk about what their goals are and what kind of things that they've already done. Another recommendation by the Diversity Committee was to create a literal seat at the table, as it were. We are asking the membership to approve an amendment to our bylaws to create a new Board of Governors position that would be filled by election of the BIPOC section members. Not a new idea. We currently have a seat on the Board of Governors that is filled by election of the Women's Law section. The idea is the same, to ensure that there is at least some representation from both sections on the Board of Governors running the Maine State Bar Association. That bylaws amendment, among others, will be voted on at the Winter Bar Conference coming up at the end of this month. Please make sure you attend that election and vote, and I would ask that you approve that change to our bylaws. It has already been unanimously approved by the Board of Governors. Let's see, what else? MCILS is almost certainly going to be a hot topic this legislative session. We're already receiving questions about what position the MSBA is going to take on that issue. We have created an ad hoc committee led by my upcoming successor, Frank Bishop, that is going to examine that issue and recommend a position for the MSBA to take on MCILS generally. If you have comments or thoughts on that, and pass them along to Angela, she can make sure those get in the right hands. On the Board of Governors, we've had some transitions between positions. Some people have left. I want to welcome two new members. Representing the public service sector is Jason Anton, and representing Cumberland County is Cheryl Cutliff. And I see Cheryl on the call right here. Hi, Cheryl. Welcome to you folks. Glad to have you. The complete list of Board of Governors representatives is on our website. And so let's actually talk about participation for just a second. We do a whole lot of things. I had no idea how many things the MSBA did until I joined the Board of Governors quite a few years ago. We do lobbying, judicial review, the Maine Bar Journals, CLEs, conferences. We host these sections. We provide a lot of services to members. And your input into any and all of these areas is appreciated and welcomed. Please take a look at who your representatives are. And if you have opinions, and I know that many of you do, please pass them along to your representative. We consider everything that we receive, and it helps us make our decisions. So that's what I have coming up in 2021. Quick overview. And let's hope that 2021 is a better year and that we are able to move past the pandemic and get past this current crisis. Thanks. Looking forward to working with you, Angela. Back to you.
Thanks, Kelly. Just a couple more updates under the business side. Quickly revisit the Winter Bar Conference is scheduled for January 27th through 29th. It is virtual. If you've looked for it online, it is not there yet, but our goal, and it will happen, it will be up this week for registration, and you'll be able to sign up for sessions. So be on the lookout for that email. We'll send out a blast once it is up and running. And finally, Kelly mentioned that there are some bylaws that we want to address during the Winter Bar Conference. Our bylaws currently don't allow us to do that in this format, in a Zoom format, which is how the meeting will be held. The annual business meeting will be held during the Winter Bar Conference. So in order to make that happen, we are having an in-person membership meeting, and this is an exception to our current suspension that the board, the executive committee approved, for an in-person membership meeting on January 13th at noon at the Western Prom in Portland. And obviously, if there's inclement weather, we'll do it on the 14th. That's the goal, same time. We ask that we guarantee it is going to be a short meeting. It is basically to allow us one bylaw change to allow us to hold the annual business meeting and other meetings in the future electronically. Did I get that right, Kelly?
That's exactly right. The only bylaws change that's going to happen there is to allow us to conduct Zoom membership meetings in the future. It is important. Everybody's going to wear masks. We're going to maintain our physical distances and stay safe. We need a quorum of 30 people out there. If you can make it, please let Angela or myself know. Please RSVP to make sure that we get enough people to approve that single bylaws change. And one incentive I have to offer to you is that I did set that for lunchtime, and there is often a food truck there next to Maine Med, a yummy Mexican food truck. And I don't know about you guys, but I have not eaten out very much. And so I'm going to go have some Mexican food for lunch after that. And that's a good question from Barry. Is there any way to give a proxy to someone who will be attending? I think the answer to that is no. Angela, do you have?
I don't have it in front of me, but I'm pretty sure you're correct. I don't believe proxies are allowed, but according to our bylaws.
Yeah. Good question. Nice try, but we just need 30 bodies out there who are members. That's important.
They have to be members.
And we'll do that quick vote and then have a taco.
Otherwise, Kelly, I don't have anything specific other than to say thank you to our members for sticking with us and allowing us to serve you, and we look forward to doing so. My staff is ready and looking forward to 2021.
Aren't we all? Well, thank you, Angela. Thank you for everybody for tuning in. Like I said at the top of the show, we intentionally made this one short so everybody could get back to the fires that are burning on their desks after maybe a few days away. So thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Each week, we're going to continue this Mondays, 11 o'clock. Look for the invitation.
Thanks, Kelly. Thanks, everybody.